Hello, my name is Kathryn Owen and I'm a final year vet student at the RVC. I'm going to share with you some results from my research project, assessing the prevalence and effect of reusing needles on piglet welfare in the UK. As part of my husband replacements, as part of my course, I observed needle reuse on farms quite frequently. And so I applied to the Animal Welfare Foundation for funding for a summer research project to find out more about this practice. I designed a survey aimed at UK pig farmers, asking them to describe their protocols when administering iron injections to piglets, a common husbandry procedure. And the aims of the project were twofold. One, to assess how widespread is needle reuse, and two, what effect does repeated needle use have on the force to puncture piglet skin. So here are the results from my questionnaire, where I got 31 responses. And I guess this is really a snapshot of UK practice. So I saw that 53% of respondents administered iron between 0 and 2 days of the piglets being born. And the most common injection site was the neck rather than the leg. The majority used a 21 gauge 5/8 inch needle, and all reported needle reuse. So only 44% of respondents said that they changed the needle after each litter. A further 28% said that they changed the needle every 3 litters. And then 28% reported a variety of responses, such as when the needle was blunt or damaged, after each injection session, or when changing the bottle of iron. And I guess importantly, when changing the bottle of iron, this could be up to 250 injections. So the results of the questionnaire were used to design a lab study looking at the effect of repeat needle use on the force required to puncture the piglet skin. And an advanced force gauge meter system was set up as shown in the picture. So you have the force gauge meter attached to a lever, and then you attach the needle to the base, and as you pull the lever down onto the test material, you can measure the manual compression force. So I haven't got time to go into the details, but I validated this system using a variety of materials before I then went on to use it to assess with the piglet skin. So here is one of the results from an experiment with piglet cadavers, where I looked at the force of injection after 1 injection using a 21 gauge 5/8 inch needle versus that after 36 injections. And as you can see, there was an increase in the force of puncture, which was statistically significant. So this is another piglet cadaver experiment looking at 1 injection, 12 injections, 36 injections and 100 injections. And as you can see in this experiment, there was statistical significance after 100 injections. So here are some images of some electron microscopy that I did following the injection of the needles into the piglet cadavers, and then looking after various numbers of injections, what the integrity of the needle looked like after. So as you can see, a really nice image of an unused needle, and then as you increase the number of times the needle has been used, you see some deformation at the tip. And this aligns quite nicely to the force of that particular needle as it punctures the piglet cadaver. So the conclusions from my study are that repeated use of a 21 gauge needle in piglets increases the compressive force into the piglet skin. I saw a significant difference by 36 injections, but the electron microscope images showed that there is needle damage from less frequent use. And I think this has implications not only for piglets, but also for the broader livestock sector wherever needles are reused. So does a blunt needle increase the potential for unnecessary pain to that animal? Does it increase the risk of injection site abscesses and disease transmission, potential economic losses? And also, as a trainee vet, using a blunter needle, I can imagine that makes learning a technique harder, and therefore there's the questions here around training issues to staff. I think this project raises the awareness to both vets and farmers of the need to change needles frequently, and this project is currently being written up with a plan to submit it to a journal shortly. So finally, I'd like to thank all UK pig farms who participated in my questionnaire, my supervisors, Dr. Nicola Blackie and Dr. Troy Gibson at the RVC, and then microscope advice from Dr. Andrew Hibbert at the RVC and Dr. Ken Mingard at the National Physical Laboratory, where I undertook the electron microscope studies. And also, finally, I'd like to thank the generous funding from the Animal Welfare Foundation, allowing me to complete this work.